Hey guys, this is Comic and today I'm doing a review on Justice League issue 50, and just want to say that yes, today is Wednesday, and I usually don't do my reviews on Wednesday, and I'm only reviewing Justice League and DC Rebirth today. I already posted my DC Rebirth video, so you can check that out. And Justice League, because this was supposed to be a big issue and wanted to discuss it early, but I will have the rest of my reviews up on Friday. Now, I know there's other big comics like Captain America that came out this week, Superman, Scooby-Doo we can even add. There are a lot of other books that came out, big books that came out this week, but again, the two huge books I wanted to review early were Justice League and DC Rebirth. Others will be on Friday. Now let's start talking about Justice League issue 50, which is definitely a bigger price tag than DC Rebirth. It is a $5.99 book, so that is $2 extra than a normal Justice League comic. But gorgeous artwork here. Fabok does the art, which he's been doing the art for a while for Justice League, and I think he does a great job. And I like that, the scenery is definitely a little bit darker. We have these reds going on, like these darker reds in the background, that fits this whole war and dark side type thing that's going on in this issue. So really, really well done artwork. But let's start talking about the story. So with this issue, it is finally the last part of the Darkseid War, because this has been going on for months, because it was delayed for a while also, this book, so it wasn't just 10 months. It's been going on for longer than a year. I want to say this happened before Convergence, so that was a while ago. That's about a year ago. So this has been very prolonged, so was the ending worth it? So with this issue, we get to see the return of a Darkseid. It's that, the baby that Superwoman had, and, the baby is born from last issue and becomes an older Darkseid by the end. And we see, the Justice League wants to defeat Grail, who's Darkseid's daughter, who's been really trained her whole life to fight this war, and we do get to see, of course, the Justice League defeats Darkseid, and there's some people that die, like Grail's mother, and you think Jessica Cruz is gonna die, but she won't, because a lot of this has already been promoted in DC Rebirth that Jessica Cruz is going to be in Green Lantern, and that there's other things like Lex Luthor getting the Superman suit that was promoted through DC Rebirth. So a lot of these surprises weren't really surprises. So yes, we do get finally the scene of Jessica becoming Green Lantern, even Batman becoming Green Lantern for a little time in this scene. So let me show you the scene where we get to see Jessica Cruz becomes a Green Lantern, which honestly gave me chills. That was definitely one of my favorite scenes of the book. So we have a beautiful scene of Jessica getting finally her Green Lantern ring, which she totally deserves it after this arc. And we get some little teases in the end, like Lex Luthor getting the Superman emblem on his suit, which kind of wish that they focused on that a little bit more, of like why he did it, but he's just like, hey, it looks good on me, which totally fixed Lex. And I just noticed that now we have rooting Lex signs over there, so that was really good on the lettering part. I just noticed that then. And then in the end, you also really, what was the big part of this issue, why I wanted to review this today, is the reveal of the Joker's name. So during the DC Rebirth conference, they said, we'll let you know who the Joker's name is. And they don't, which I'm happy with. I don't want to know the Joker's name. But the scene is that there are 3 Jokers. And if you read DC Rebirth first, which I had to read DC Rebirth first, I would have read it in order, but you already knew what the whole thing was going on with the Joker, but it didn't really feel like I felt spoiled because of it, because hey, you never knew. No, maybe they would have revealed the name also, so I didn't feel spoiled in that scene because I read DC Rebirth first. But yeah, I'm interested. I really like that scene also because, again, we're not actually learning that his name is like Joe Smo or something. But I like it because, you know, we always say that there's different versions of the Joker. You know, you have the actual, like, joking type Joker, the lighter version, yeah, like kind of the Heath Ledger version. I'm going more towards in the movies for some reason. But that's the best way to kind of compare it. You do have so many different versions of the Joker where 3 Jokers totally make sense in the DC universe. So I'm excited to see where they go with that. In the end, they kind of reveal in DC Rebirth that this brother that Wonder Woman is discussing in this movie, in this issue, is related to the whole Grail situation, and we learn in DC Rebirth, spoiler alert if you haven't read DC Rebirth yet, that it's actually her twin. So I'm guessing we'll learn more about that and see how that's dealt with. And that's pretty much the whole issue, but what did I think about this issue? Now, was it actually worth the hype? Or not the hype, was it worth the actual longevity of this comic? And I would say no, honestly. You know, it was a good book. I like the action. I'm not a huge Apocalypse fan. I'm not a huge Darkseid fan. So I wasn't as interested in the actual war, personally. But it was good action. It was some good character narration by Wonder Woman. I enjoyed that stuff. And, you know, I like the little tidbits about the Joker. I love the Jessica Cruz scene. That was probably the best part for the issue. Artwork was gorgeous. But the story itself, I mean, a lot of this stuff we already knew, the whole Lex Luthor thing, we knew about Jessica Cruz also, so I kind of wish they saved some stuff for this comic, because again, we waited so long for the book, and that goes to, we waited way too long for this book. It was way too much outdrawn, or overdrawn, the book, so I think that is a big negative of why I'm like, oh, okay, I feel a little underwhelmed by this book. But overall, I do think it's worth picking up. Obviously, if you've been reading Darkseid War throughout this whole entire time, I don't really know if Darkseid War is worth it, unless you want to get into Jessica Cruz's story, as becoming a Green Lantern, everything else, and if you like Darkseid, you'll enjoy this. But if you're just, like, wanting the Justice League story, this could be a skippable story, in my opinion. It's just way too many parts for me. So Justice League issue 50 gets 3.5 stars. Not a bad story, but again, it goes to, this would have been a really solid 5-part story, and, you know, kind of a lackluster 10-part story. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. This is Comic Uno. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to like my Facebook page. Also, description below, there are links for my comic book, Like Father, Like Daughter. And don't forget to like the Facebook page of Like Father, Like Daughter. I'll see you guys later. Bye.